You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
What's going on, everyone? This is Ace, and welcome to 2024. We are back with a bit of a fun one today, as it involves our favorite psychopathic killer in his ever-continuing journey of Megadeth. And of course, as we all know, it's all being done for love. Love for Lady Death. As once the living are no more, then a curse will be lifted, and the legend, Lady Death, can set foot on Earth once more. And finally, she and Evil Ernie will be together at the world's end. But whoa, I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself, as there is still plenty of Megadeth left to be done before we can even think of a conclusion of Evil's story. And besides, no need to get all serious in this video. As I mentioned earlier, this one is kind of a fun / goofy kind of story. As you probably are expecting from the title of this video, we have Evil Ernie going up against the superheroes. He will encounter heroes and villains that may come across as familiar to you, so if you are a superhero comics fan and don't feel like seeing some of your favorite characters being, well, butchered, well, just remember it's all in good fun. But before we begin, if you enjoy the tales of Evil Ernie, the ravishing Lady Death, and the many other creations of Brian Pulido, then feel free to give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, as it helps the channel out a lot. Your continued support is always much appreciated, and without further ado, let's begin. Our story begins with a paralyzed voice, filled with fear, stating, "I can't believe what I'm witnessing. Superman and Wonder Woman are getting married, and my patient, Evil Ernie, has come to crash the party." Now, this voice belongs to a Dr. Leonard Price, who essentially was one of Evil Ernie's doctors, who after years of trying to heal the troubled youth, but eventually came to the conclusion that there was no hope for him, and that sooner he was dead, the better humanity would be. Now, funny how wrong Dr. Leonard Price would be, as now that Evil Ernie is undead, he is a bigger threat to the world than ever before. Dr. Leonard Price has spent the last 6 months doing everything within his power to try to stop the Evil One, as he feels responsible for the genocide that has taken place because of Ernie. Fast forward to right now, and Evil Ernie is finishing off Captain America. He has ripped out Cap's intestines and is wrapping it around the neck, choking him to death. Captain America goes on in his last breaths how Evil Ernie is a threat to those seeking liberty and justice, and how he is robbing the freedom of the American people. Evil Ernie tells the captain to shut his trap, as there is no media around to hear him talk. Finally, after letting Captain America know that he is a hypocrite and only stands for the almighty dollar, Evil Ernie rips off his head. Pop goes the weasel. Nearby, the Atom in his small-sized form runs to Captain America's aid, explaining out loud his powers and abilities and how he obtained them. He is crushed by the decapitated Captain America head. Covered in entrails and blood, the Atom is dazed and then is crushed by Evil Ernie. "Why are you telling me your life story? That's goofy," states the Evil One. But before long, Spider-Man shoots out his web and wraps up Ernie. Spider-Man throws out a "It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man" and comments on Evil Ernie's appearance.
Set him down, tough guy.
However, Spider-Man hopes to get this fight over with quick, as he has his own problems to sort out. Because at this point, he doesn't know if he actually is the real Spider-Man or a clone. And also, he has more problems due to Evil Ernie grabbing hold of Spider-Man's webbing, uses it against the wall crawler, throwing him to the ground. We cut back to Dr. Leonard Price, who is with a female version of Uatu, or simply known as the Watcher. Dr. Leonard was locked in a prison when the Watcher approached him to break him free. The reason is that the world is in great danger, and Evil Ernie, who used to be Dr. Price's patient, is responsible. Dr. Price agrees, but questions why the Watcher wishes to intervene, as he thought that she has sworn never to intercede in the meddling of man. She simply states that she has grown to admire mankind, but they must hurry if they are to save it. Later, the Watcher is encouraging Dr. Leonard Price to use a device called the Ultimate Equalizer on Evil Ernie to destroy him. As Dr. Leonard Price is getting ready to press the button to put an end to Evil Ernie, he recollects how the Evil One came to be in this world of superheroes. We flash back to the past, where a young Evil Ernie, at this point simply known as Ernest Fairchild, has superpowered parents, and sadly, like other realities, they are still very much cruel monsters who beat and abuse their son. They are embarrassed by Ernest's lack of powers and his disinterest in this universe's formalities of being a hero, such as capes, costumes, sponsors, publicity, etc. After beating the snaz out of Ernie and making him wear a costume, the Fairchild family go to a party to congratulate Superman's most recent accomplishment in saving the world. Here at the party, we can see the likes of Batman and Robin, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, and many more. Batman, thinking to himself, lets us know that the heroes are aware that the Fairchild parents beat Ernie, but Superman won't have any of them intervene. Don't like this at all. We look away when Fairchild beats his son, but that's Superman's orders. He'll crush us if we don't cooperate. One day, that boy will be a problem. Party continues and we are able to hear all the heroes' thoughts, most of them in sympathy for Ernest Fairchild, as they all seem to be aware of the abuse. We also get a glimpse into Superman's head and his reasoning for not wanting to pressure or anger the Fairchilds. Essentially, it comes down to money. The Fairchilds fund everything from equipment, living conditions, and all superhero endeavors. Now, unbeknownst to the heroes and the Fairchilds, Ernie does have a power that he has been keeping to himself. You see, he is telepathic and can hear everything the heroes are thinking. He knows they know his situation and why they will not lift a finger to do anything. This both saddens and angers him, and he is disillusioned with heroes altogether. Meanwhile, Ernie's parents asked Dr. Leonard Price if he could use his Dream Probe 2099 on their son, as they believe it would help Ernie's mind not suppress his superpower abilities. This misguided favor would go answered by Dr. Price, as he was unaware of Ernie's abuse. However, the machine proved to be a mental portal to a netherworld, ruled by a powerful sorceress named Lady Death. It's implied that here would be where Ernest and Lady Death discuss future plans of Megadeth and their equal disdain for superheroes. About a week later, Ernest murders his parents due to finally not being able to stand the abuse any longer. His mind finally snapped and he no longer was sane. He vowed revenge on those who pushed him to the brink and or those who didn't prevent it. He would be put into an asylum, and Dr. Price was locked up in prison as he and his Dream Probe 2099 machine were blamed for the boy's condition. Time has passed and today is the day of Wonder Woman and Superman's wedding. But in this universe, Wonder Woman is also a highly intelligent scientist and has been working on a machine called Neurotech 2099, designed to remove the urge to kill from its subjects. And Wonder Woman's first test subject will be none other than Ernest Fairchild. But with some machine malfunction, a kiss of death, and overall just rotten luck, Ernest Fairchild's killing urges are increased instead. The Neurotech machine is destroyed and finally Ernie is fried to a crisp. The whole operation was an absolute failure, but Wonder Woman can't be bothered too much as her wedding with Superman is almost at hand. Wonder Woman, in the face of the boy's corpse, states, "Drat, well, better luck next time," and goes away. Ernie's regular nurse takes the boy's body and expresses her sympathy that things didn't work out and that Ernie was unable to be cured. She places a gift onto the boy, a smiley button, along with some clothes. But when she does this, the smiley button comes to life and the zombified corpse arises, and Evil Ernie is born. He spares the nurse's life for bringing him the button and clothes, but upon trying to leave the asylum, he is confronted by the guards. He tells them not to be heroes, and they open fire. He turns to them with a devilish grin and says, "I warned you," while Smiley says, "Make it nasty, boss." The first call of help goes out and the Punisher is on it. He busts open the doors of the asylum and begins to unload his bullets onto Evil Ernie. Evil Ernie confuses him for a different hero, but thanks to Smiley is reminded that this guy is called the Punisher. Evil Ernie grabs the Punisher's guns, crushing them, and then proceeds to tear off his arms. The Punisher screams in pain and falls to his knees, bleeding from both sides. Evil Ernie picks up one of the Punisher's grenades and forces it into his mouth. "You drop something. Suck on this, champ." Punisher is blown to smithereens, and Evil Ernie makes his way to the wedding of the century between Wonder Woman and Superman. The wedding is to take place at the Avengers Mansion, and all the superheroes are in attendance. Nick Fury, who is also Dr. Price's twin brother, is in charge of security. At this point, the media as well as the heroes are aware of Evil Ernie's escape from the asylum, The Green Arrow lets Superman know that Ernie is headed their way, but Batman and Robin are planning to stop him before he can reach the celebration. The dynamic duo are chasing Evil Ernie in the Batmobile, and Ernie is impressed with their vehicle. He keeps his ride running and climbs on the top as he jumps on the front of the Batmobile. Ripping apart the windshield, he grabs and throws the two heroes out of the car, which does lead to the splattering of Robin's face. Evil Ernie drives the Batmobile to the Avengers Mansion, where he is met by Wolverine. The two, with their incredible healing abilities, are entangled in a slaughter fest, tearing away at each other's skin and flesh until Ernie decides to kick Wolverine in the cojones. But Professor Xavier and the X-Men are close by, including the likes of Beast, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Angel, Iceman, Colossus, and the list just keeps going. They try to reason with Evil Ernie, saying that they know what it's like to be misunderstood. Ernie, however, has no interest in what they have to say and begins looking in the Batmobile for a self-destruct button. The vehicle explodes, killing the X-Men and Professor Xavier, and launches a laughing Evil Ernie into the sky, completely engulfed in flames. Inside, the wedding is continuing, and although everyone can hear the explosion and commotion happening outside, Superman encourages for the wedding to continue and not worry about it. We also get a nice little cameo from some really cool people in the audience. Evil Ernie crashes and Nick Fury tells his men to stop him. At the same time, Quicksilver is running at super speed to also stop the evil one. Evil Ernie sticks out his foot, tripping Quicksilver and causing him to make impact with Nick Fury and his men. The impact is enough to kill everyone, causing Quicksilver's head and spine to peel back, Nick Fury's face to explode, and several of his men to be dismembered. Evil Ernie makes his way inside, kicking open the door, but is immediately fired upon by Iron Man and Giant Man. While this is happening, a bald Doctor Strange and a blue Namor suspect that Lady Death is behind Evil Ernie's onslaught, and so they teleport to her realm. They hope to defeat her and put an end to the Evil One's terror. Back on Earth, Giant Man calls Evil Ernie a villain, and this makes Evil Ernie upset, so he punctures Giant Man's chest and begins pulling out his organs, fluids, and spinal cord, and uses them to destroy Iron Man, whose suit was already malfunctioning. This would be the beginning of what can only be called a massacre of heroes, and leads us to where the book opened up, with Evil Ernie mopping the floor with the likes of Captain America and Spider-Man. Wonder Woman and Superman cower in hiding, hoping that the other heroes will be able to handle it. Dr. Doom appears briefly to announce that with the heroes being taken out, he shall take his rightful place as the greatest being to walk the earth. Until Ernie busts a hole through his skull, literally punching his brains out. Dr. Price, close by, is just about to hit the button on the ultimate equalizer, which will put an end to Ernest Fairchild. Dr. Price's mind and memories are causing confusion for him at the moment. He remembers another doctor named Mary Young, who he fought Evil Ernie with before. He remembers the killing of the president and the undead takeover of Washington, D.C. Or did any of that actually happen? Finally, he fires the device and blasts Evil Ernie. Afterwards, Ernie turns toward Superman. "Wow," is all he utters. Dr. Price is horrified that it didn't work. He begs the Watcher to do something, as it only made Evil Ernie more powerful. The Watcher apologizes and says that the device must have been on the wrong setting, but that they've meddled in the affairs of man too much already, and that it's up to you, and quickly vanishes. Just then, the Hulk jumps in front of Evil Ernie.
"Hulk no like Superman."
"Dude, under normal circumstances, you'd be my kind of guy, but right now, you're in my way." Evil Ernie lunges through Hulk's body, killing him, and finally takes on Superman. Superman gets in a hit, but eventually has his head ripped off by Evil Ernie. The Evil One takes a bouquet of flowers and puts it in the neck hole of Superman's body. Here's to a better tomorrow. Just then, the heads of Namor and Doctor Strange are thrown into the room as Lady Death decapitated the fools for entering her realm. She was able to do this by coming through the blood of one of the superheroes. Ernie then uses his ability to resurrect the superheroes as the undead. They are now under his control. Dr. Price, in a cold sweat panic, is frantically trying to get the device to work. Come on, work, damn it. This catches the eye of Evil Ernie, who asks, "Hey Doc, what are you trying to do? Be a hero?" He lunges at Dr. Price, who finally zaps Evil Ernie a second time. This time, however, obliterating him. Dr. Leonard Price can barely contain his excitement. He shouts, "I did it! I don't believe it! I defeated Evil Ernie! I defeated Evil Ernie!" Dr. Leonard Price was in a coma. from injuries sustained months ago at the hands of Evil Ernie himself. It was all a dream, just a stinking dream. Dr. Leonard gets up and he punches the TV. Now that he is awake and back into the harsh and horrifying reality, he vows that he's gonna stop Evil Ernie and that he's coming for him, no matter what. And so now you all know the story of Evil Ernie versus the superheroes. Is this thing on? Hello, living ones. This is Torture TV, the Undead Network, coming at you after months of radio silence. We got a big surprise in store for you. I'd like to introduce a fine, upstanding young man, a real community servant. He's been keeping the old USA in suspense. The one, the only, the master of annihilation, Evil Ernie. Howdy to all the land of the living. Just want to let you know, living ones, I didn't forget you. As acting president of the Psychotic States of America, I promise equal death to all. So keep the porch lights on, cause the dead ones are coming.